Hey, good of you to join me today. Got a few projects going on, but I wanted to take some time out just to talk about something that excites me, gives me a little bit of hope. It's very rare that I hear of government doing anything legislatively in a positive way. And I am really encouraged by Tennessee's new law. I don't know if you've heard or not that the state legislature has passed legislation that, as part of school curriculum, firearm safety and safe gun handling is going to become a part of the curriculum K through 12 in our schools. And I am really happy about that. It's I have called for that nearly all my life, to take kids and teach them young how safe gun handling is. You know, I used to, back when I was giving a lot of classes to a lot of students, firearms classes, I used to explain the fact that we have over 300 million firearms in private hands in this country. And for any parent to think that for some reason they can shield their children from ever, coming in contact with a gun is just, it's poking your head in the sand. Firearms are a part of American life, and when everybody knew that and everybody accepted that, we had a whole lot more firearm safety. We had a whole lot more, well, let's just face it, we had less crime. Half of all the homes in America, have a firearm in them. Your child needs to be taught firearm safety and safe gun handling. And while there comes an age when all the stop, don't touch, go tell an adult, that's basically the Eddie Eagle program in a nutshell, and it has saved lives for sure. But there comes a time when stop, don't touch doesn't work with kids. It's different ages for different kids, but you gotta let them handle them. You gotta let them shoot them. You got to take that curiosity that they have, that society considers so taboo, that children sneak around and do it. You don't want that. You want to give them an opportunity to quell that urge to sneak and handle one. And the way you do that is let them handle one without sneaking. It's very simple. I think back on all the troubles that we have in our schools now with these school shootings and these kids that are, well, let's just face it, they're twisted. They have become evil. They have no respect for life and no respect for others. And it makes it really, really tough to reach some of these kids. But if we start them young and we teach them safe, responsible firearm safety, we teach them like I was taught, that if you ever want to own these when you grow up, you can't be a bad person, because if you get a criminal record, you'll never be able to own guns legally. But as long as you're a law-abiding citizen, this is something, it's a freedom that you have. And so all my life I was very conscientious of the things that I did as a kid, and as a teenager, to never ruin that trust that my parents had in me. Because early on, I was allowed to handle firearms, and from the time, I guess, I was 12 or 13, I could actually go pick up a gun and go out to the woods with a firearm. And of course, by that time I had several years shooting experience as a kid. And you got to instill those basic safety rules. Treat every gun like it's loaded. You keep every gun pointed in a safe direction. Never let the muzzle point at anything you don't intend to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger, out of the trigger guard, until the gun's on the target. You have a safe backstop and you have made the decision to fire. Then and only then can your finger enter the trigger guard. Know your target and what's behind it. Teach a child that bullets can go through a plastic jug or go through a pop bottle, or like behind me here, a bullet can ricochet off this water. And you're responsible for that bullet from the time it leaves the gun until the time it comes to rest. And teach kids responsibility, and you'd be amazed at how well they'll take that responsibility. I think a lot of the trouble that our kids have now is they're not given any responsibility. They're basically swept out of the way and basically, don't interfere with my lifestyle. Here's something to keep you busy. And it's terrible. When I was growing up, it was dads and uncles and granddads. They got you out and they did these things with you. And I have said for years that every state in the union needs to teach firearm safety. A kid should not graduate high school without knowing safe gun handling. I'm a believer in that. As an instructor, I've instructed over probably 8,000 people in the NRA classes, the firearms permit classes, the advanced tactical pistol classes, the advanced tactical carbine classes. Worked with 4-H kids in Scholastic Clay Target program, Scholastic Pistol program. I was not only certified as an instructor through the NRA, but also through 4-H as a shooting instructor. And I would go ahead and I would safely say that through my instructing and teaching firearm safety and responsibility, I have saved way more lives than I did as a registered nurse. And those are the best kind, because those are accidents and injuries that you prevent from ever happening in the first place. Sad thing is, as a registered nurse, when I saw my patients, they already had problems. You can catch a kid young and you can teach them the Eddie Eagle program. Stop, don't touch, go tell an adult. Very simple, very simple. And then as they get a little older, to get them out there, let them handle them, let them do some shooting, maybe with pellet rifles, at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Move them up to 22s, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then give them some handgun training. When they're, say, ninth grade on up, and shotgun, let them shoot a few clays. Do something with these kids to alleviate the mystery that surrounds these guns. Listen, if you don't teach them, they're getting all of their education from the internet and from movies. And if that doesn't scare you, wow, I can't do anything to talk sense into you. It's a responsibility that we all have as a free people who are allowed to own arms, that we raise our children up in a way that they are well regulated. They know how to handle a pump shotgun. They know how to handle a bolt action rifle. They know how a revolver works. They know how a semi-automatic works. Like no other country in the world, firearms are a part of our citizenship. When I was a kid in school, we had guns in the back of our pickup trucks at high school. Listen, I had made a really good impression on me. Of course, I came from a shooting family, but in our high school, to graduate high school, we had to have a half a credit of health. Now, how are you going to get a half a credit of health? Well, you do the health portion of the class the first of the year and get that out of the way. And do you know the last half of the year, I'd say from January until school let out for the summer in May, we had a good coach. I'm telling you, solid teachers make a difference in your children's life. We had a football coach named Jim McPeak, and he taught health. That was part of the curriculum that he taught as a coach. And for not 6 months, half of the school year, whatever that was, he got us our half a credit in health. And did you know for the last half of the year, he got us CPR and first aid certifications for every kid that came through his health class. And then he used those until the weather got a little warmer. And after that, he was a certified hunter safety coach. He got us all our hunter safety. So we got firearm safety in that training, and we got our hunter education card way back before it was ever a requirement. I think 1979 is the year that I got mine, and it was because of Jim McPeak. And he brought a couple of 22 rifles to school, and we set up on the football field shooting into the hill where the softball field is now, and he let every kid shoot that 22 rifles. Now that wasn't a big deal to me because I had 22 rifles at home. I had my own 22 rifle, but it was a big deal to a lot of the kids there. It meant a lot to them. But what really impressed me, while we had some high power rifles, we didn't have any Magnum centerfire rifles. And Coach brought out his 300 Winchester Magnum and put a gallon jug of water in front of that hill. And he got us all moved back, and he set up a little platform there to stable up and shoot off of. And he shot that gallon jug at probably 50 yards, and you can imagine what a 300 Win Mag did to that jug of water. And it left an impression on everybody that took that class. We had a full understanding of the responsibility that is yours when you handle a firearm. And to this day, I'm grateful for Coach for doing that. That was an awesome thing. Look, we had kids. I remember a friend of mine, Scott, brought his shotgun to ag class to refinish the stocks and to refit the stocks because it was kind of a sloppy fit. He refit them and refinished them there in the ag shop. We used to rabbit hunt immediately after school. And I had a buddy that would stop by about 2 o'clock in my last period with a truck full of dogs. And we'd go rabbit hunting right from school. And We never had school shootings. We couldn't even comprehend that kind of nonsense happening in our school. And I think that this legislation is awesome. I also think that the left is going to fight it tooth and nail. And I like the fact that the schools have a lot of leeway in how they teach it and what they teach. They have a pretty loose, as far as the legislation goes, they can set their own curriculum. And I know that some big cities are going to fight it. It's coming. Get ready for the fight. Probably be fighting in court too. But listen, this is very important. This is the way you win. And I am so tired of all of this trouble we have out of our youth. And folks, it's because we haven't taught them responsibility, and we haven't taught them basically how to grow up. And be ready. There's going to be problems. We're going to have places like Memphis city schools and Nashville city schools that are going to fight this. We're going to have some parents. You know, we got a lot of people moving here from out of state. Forgive me dipping, but I was out here doing a little fishing today. So, but we're going to have parents that have maybe moved here from other blue states or blue areas that are going to be worried about this. Listen, we need to teach them that that's a part of growing up in the South. I am sure since they have implanted themselves here in our society, and especially if they've done it in rural areas, that they realize that in this state, 9 and 10-year-old kids, 11, 12, 13, are all getting into hunting. And I'm sure their kids are curious. And listen, they need to understand that in this neck of the woods, firearms are an everyday part of life. And that to not teach your child, or let somebody teach your child, safe gun handling is tantamount to negligence. It's negligence. We're teaching kids in school how to put a condom on a banana to help prevent the spread of STDs, and we're not teaching them safe gun handling when the odds of them coming in contact with a firearm are 1 to 1. What are we thinking? I'm excited about this. I want to help in any way I can and promote this. And I am retired now as a registered nurse. I am still an instructor. I want the school system to know that if there's any way I can help, if I can be an ambassador to secure a range, if I can be an instructor, if I can do anything in any way to promote this new legislation, I'm going to volunteer for it. And it is so strong with the way I feel, and it's high time that a state had the nerve to do this, and I'm so proud of Tennessee for being the first. I appreciate y'all tuning in with me. We'll get back on some guns and guitars and stuff later, but I really wanted to get this out today because I finally seen I didn't want to say anything about it. I've known it to be in the works, and I just saw a couple videos posted today on YouTube, so I thought, okay, the cat's out of the bag. I'm going to put in my 2 cents worth, and I think it's a good thing. And I hope you think it's a good thing. Thanks for watching.